You're gonna what? You're gonna buy a truck? Okay, welcome back. What kind of truck do I buy? Well, the answer to that is I really don't know, because there's so many variables and there's different people, and you got to look at the big picture and see what you want. What I want and what you want is totally different. What you can do, the easiest way to do it is go look at some trucks and figure out which one you want. They're all the same. They all got their little idiosyncrasies and they have their own issues. And is one any better than the other? No, it's not. So it's just what you want. Now, if you want to buy a truck that is perfect, you go buy a Chevy chassis, you buy a Ford cab, and you put a Dodge diesel in it. That's your perfect truck. So, on that note, that's what I'm going for. Now, if you want a truck that's a hard working and takes a good kicking, it'll be a Ford. The frames are super strong on them, and they don't have too many issues with the frame. Now, if you want a powerful engine, you buy a Dodge. Well, the Toyota's got a Dodge, has got a Cummins in it now too. The Cummins is one of the better motors, and even the Duramax is not. It's a good diesel. Like, all the diesels are pretty good. Ford's got the bugs out of theirs. The Ford problem is 04 to 06, that area there where they're playing with international, because there's always been an international motor. And the thing about it is that people don't know that the international don't have a problem with it. So I'm just saying, you just have to look at it and see what you want. Now, I have a Dodge gas, and the reason I took a gas is because if you don't know nothing about a diesel and you go buy one, you're going to be very pissed off, because a diesel makes a lot of noise, and it's always vibrating, right? Like, that's the nature of the beast, though, but they're all like that. But you have to think about that. Now, everybody goes on about the gas mileage. Well, I'll tell you a thing about gas mileage is diesel. Now, when you're talking diesel and you're talking gas, I want you to put all the things in the diesel. The diesel fuel, the DEF, and changing the oil. And on the gas, I want you to put the gas, the changing the oil together. And then that's what gives you your miles per gallon. Not this, oh, I got 15 miles a gallon. I put 20 gallons of DEF in it, and it cost me $200 to change the oil. So, now, on that note, I'm not saying diesel and gas are any different. I'm saying my personal view is I want gas. You might want a diesel. And if you want a diesel, go get a diesel. That's your prerogative. You can get a diesel. There's not a thing wrong with a diesel. You got better torque, and you get a little bit better gas mileage. And on the gas, you get a little lower torque, and you get a little less gas mileage. But on that point, when you're driving down the road in your diesel truck and you see oil change $23.95, that's not for you. But if you had a gas truck, that'd be for you. See, that's the thing. Like, a diesel costs a lot more money to fix. I don't care who it is. Even for me, to keep a diesel on the road would cost me a fortune. Where the gas, like, you take one injector of a diesel, what, $400? I could put spark plugs in my truck for almost 5 years for that kind of money. So that's the thing. Engines. The engine goes out of my Dodge. What, $3,000? Maybe. For a used one? Maybe. A diesel? $8,000-9,000. That's the difference. So if you, and it's the same thing, it doesn't matter if you are running gas or diesel, you always have that emergency fund. Like, we always run an emergency fund of about $4,000 to $5,000, so that if the engine transmission goes out of it, it's not a problem. Now, if the engine transmission goes out of your diesel, you got to keep about 15 grand around, right? And the thing about it is, as you've seen with Dean's truck, is that you can buy a truck and if it blows up, I'll buy another one. Well, it's not that easy. So you have to fix this stuff. So you have to keep the maintenance up. Like you've seen all my videos, you know you have to keep the maintenance up. Even my truck, I got to keep the maintenance up. And that's the difference. It's all what people want. If you want a diesel, then get a diesel. If you want a gas, get a gas. If you want a Chevy, get a Chevy. If you want a Ford, get a Ford. If you want a Nissan, get a Nissan. And I've seen them all, and I have worked on them all. And for me to come down and say that this truck is better than that truck, I can't do it. I'm sorry, I just can't do it, because they all have they got their problems. Like Ford, you know, the engine's the weak link. Okay, on the Chevy, you know, it's electrical dash and all that stuff, and wheel bearings and jack shafts, right? On the Dodge, the weak link is the transmission. Well, now they say they changed it, so I don't know now. But back 06, 07, the weak link was the transmission. It didn't matter if it was standard or automatic. It's all the issue. Now, the other thing is four-wheel drive and two-wheel drive. Now, I'm not going to say if one's better than the other, because I'm not going to do that, because that's just not fair. This is what I'm going to say. If you go in the mud, or where you need four-wheel drive, like the snow, like up in Colorado or Montana or something like that, or the mud, you go off-road, get a four-wheel drive. And if you're not, even us on the desert, I don't have an issue. And if you just have to plan that you don't go in that muddy conditions. And if you do, you find somebody that'll pull you out. But the thing is if you're not going to use four-wheel drive, don't buy it. Like, just sit back and don't say nothing and just think. How many people you know that's got four-wheel drive that have never used it? And you know, the car manufacturers has caught on to this now, and you Google it and find out, is that all your four-wheel drive cars, every one of them, almost, what are they? All-wheel drive. You know why that is? Because if you don't use the four-wheel drive, stuff starts seizing up and breaking. You have to use the four-wheel drive. Just like the air conditioner. You have to use the air conditioner. So now they put an all-wheel drive on, so every time you drive it, it's always working. So you don't have an issue. So for me to tell you what truck to buy, I cannot tell you. I can tell you the good points and the bad points, but I can't tell you which truck to buy. It's totally personal. You might like a Nissan with a gas in it or a diesel. It's totally up to you. There's so many combinations. It's like somebody to sit down and say, okay, you guys want to buy trucks, I'll tell you what truck to buy. You can't do that because it's not that easy. Now, the last thing on the truck is when you buy a truck, you have to know what you're going to use it for. Now, if you're going to use it for pulling a trailer, like my trailer, a prime example, this trailer is 8,000 pounds, and my truck will pull 12,000 pounds. I have that buffer. You always have a buffer. I'm talking 2,000 to 3,000 pound buffer. You never buy a truck like they say the GVW 7,000, your trailer 7,000. You're just going to throw parts at that till hell and back, because you can't do that. And if you're going to do a fifth wheel, don't do the 1,500 thing. I'm just saying, you'll be so mad. A fifth wheel has to be a 3/4 ton or better. I don't care what the manufacturers say. I really don't care, because you just can't do it. If you want to try pulling a 1,500, like a Ford F-150, and pulling a fifth wheel, just make sure you got AAA service, because it's not going to work. You know, it's just not going to work. Like, you got to pick the truck. Like, okay, say for instance you want to buy, like Neil bought that little trailer, that little Taylor, It's 1,500 pounds. He can pull that with his V6 because it can pull it. So if you want a small trailer, get a SUV or a small truck. You don't need a big truck like mine, because when it boils down to it, when you got a big truck and a trailer and a fifth wheel and 1-ton dually, it's going to come down to 10 miles a gallon. That's the magic number. I don't care what you do, it's going to come down to 10 miles a gallon is the magic number. So I'm just going to leave that with you because I can't really help you. Everybody asks me, but I can't really help you. I can, if you phone me up and say, okay, what do you think about a Dodge? I'll tell you everything I think about a Dodge, or a Ford, or a Chevy, or a Nissan, or a Toyota. But I can't come down and say, go buy a Dodge or go buy a Ford. I can't do it because it's just not right, because it's just not right. So it's totally personal preference, and they all got their good points and bad points. That's all I can say on that one. I'll leave that with you, and I hope that helped you out.